And we also talked about the Galamsey issue. And you see, it's not just the pollution of our water bodies or the devastation that we see in our forest reserves. It is also the existential threat that it poses to all of us and the ecosystem in general. Look, we yesterday at the press conference also thought that all that has to be said on this matter have been said by everybody concerned. The fact that about 60% of our water bodies are polluted as a result of this illegal activity. The fact that about 50% of water processed by Ghana Water Company today, get discarded because of the salinity levels and because of the fact that, the cost of even processing water has also astronomically gone up. We have said all of this, and the threat that we face, the threat of possible importation of water for use in this country, we have said all of that. All the experts have spoken about the dangers that we face. The impunity is something we live with. Our railway lines are not spared by this illegal conduct today. Our highways, in fact, recently the Konongo-Kumasi highway, we saw the videos and the ridiculous explanation from the MC that people got permission to go and do desilting or something, only for them to later on realize that they were actually engaged in mining very close to the highway, threatening the integrity of that road. And look at our water bodies today. I mean, everybody has said what has to be said and done what has to be done. I recall the media campaign that was waged and the time and the resources that the media committed to this. Now it has gotten to a time, Annie, as members of the Lands and Natural Resources Committee, we think that the President, His Excellency, must address the nation on the state of our environment. If COVID was that important for us to have a fellow Ghanaians address, I do not think that the threat that we face from this canker is less than the threat that COVID posed at the time.
I agree with you.
It may not be as immediate as COVID was, but if you look at the threats to water, to our railway lines, to our highways, to even our very existence, it has become necessary that the President commits time to address the nation on the state of our environment alone. And so, at the press conference yesterday, we made that passionate appeal. And we hope that well-meaning Ghanaians, civil society organizations, and stakeholders will help us demand that from our president. We all know that he's lame duck. We all know that he's in his dying, ages of his presidency. We know that he checked out long ago and told us a new leader will have to come and solve our problems.
You can confirm that
he said that. He checked out.
But he still...
But he wouldn't have told us that it's a new leader that will come and change our problems. We know he checked out. But the fact is that he remains the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. He remains the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. And remains the president of the Republic of Ghana. And so, with all the opportunities available to him, we will disregard the fact that he checked out long ago and still hold him responsible and demand that at least he gives us a statement on the state of our environment. Because even as we talk about possible food crisis this year, you cannot rule out the impact of this illegal Galamsey that is done with impunity. We talk about the crisis with Cocoa Board and our finances, and you cannot rule out the impact of this Galamsey and the impunity with which it is done. And so every sphere of life is affected by the destruction that we see with our environment. And that is why it is important that the president addresses the nation and at least give us some direction, give us some clarity, and help us all identify what else we can do and how else we can contribute to ameliorate the situation. In the meantime also, we think that some heads must roll. I mean, for example, how is it possible that the MCE in what's the name of the district where Konongo is still at post? How on earth?
The one who said we should.
How on earth?
We should attack the police.
Yes. How on earth is he still at post?
Yes.
Given the level of destruction
He apologized.
by the highway under his watch, and the ridiculous explanations that he came up with. Now I understand they are doing some reclamation exercise. I mean, how does he even have
reclamation exercise?
That's what I hear. I heard it yesterday in the news. You may have to go and check and see. They have succeeded in now driving the people out, and they are now trying to do a reclamation exercise. We need to check that, and I'm sure that very soon we'll be going there
in fact,
as a committee.
It's not true.
So I'm saying that, look, Annie,
Eric, is it true
that they have done a reclamation exercise?
that you are doing?
Who is doing?
I don't know.
In the Konongo area, but Annie, I'm saying that it is even ridiculous. Okay, it's even ridiculous. No, I mean I'm talking specifically to the one that came.
I mean, we spoke with the Rastas.
I know that the whole of Konongo, most parts of Konongo already, the impunity is going on.
He is in the ground almost all the time. That's his work.
Yeah.
And the today reports, there's nothing like reclamation.
Well.
No.
So what you see, that adds to the problem, and that's why I'm saying that I cannot understand why heads are not rolling. It's as if, yes, like I said, the president has checked out.
Okay.
Otherwise, how is it possible that an MCE like that is still at post? How is it possible that the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, who clearly, from the things that we uncovered and shared during our press conference, seem to be more interested in private interest promotion than protecting the public interest, especially in our state lands and forest reserves. So I cannot repeat it enough that the president must speak to the nation. We need to, for example, understand why we still have LI 2462, passed by the environment minister to allow for mining in our forest reserves, when only a couple of years ago the president was promising us that he was banning mining in forest reserves and even putting his presidency on the line. We need to understand and reconcile those two positions.
I remember Mr. Simin Kombos has said on this platform that there is nothing wrong with mining in forest reserves as long as you put in the right procedures after mining.
I've had this conversation with him repeatedly, and I have said on many occasions that at our level of development, now we now even call it development, at our level of destruction, you cannot guarantee sustainable mining in our forest reserves.
Okay.
So it is better that we restrict it generally and protect the forest reserves from mining. At our level of destruction, we cannot guarantee and supervise sustainable mining in our forest reserves.
All right.